Hi, everyone. I'm Fiona Swerdlow. I'm a VP Research Director at Forrester. I'm going to be talking to you a little today about some trends, some retail sales trends here in the US, and a little bit about the outlook for online retail in 2023. So let's dive in. Let's start a little bit with how US consumers are feeling about the economy. This is, of course, a very current topic. And not surprisingly, we see that inflation and the overall economy are very much top of mind for US online adults, as they are for online adults in many, many countries around the world. We asked online adults how they're feeling about the economy, and 75% of them said that they are indeed worried about growing inflation and rising prices. Almost as many again said they are indeed worried about the general state of the economy. And a little over half say that they're worried that supply chain issues will lead to people hoarding essential goods, something that we saw a couple of years ago at the beginning of the pandemic. Not surprisingly, of course, higher prices are most palpable for those everyday purchases that so many of us make. So you think about things like groceries and gas for our car, but of course, restaurants and even clothing sales, these are areas that consumers say where they've seen higher prices this year. So what are they doing about this? Well, they're eating out less, they're buying fewer and fewer products, they're cutting back on non-essential spending, but they're also doing things like going online to find more deals. They are buying cheaper products, and they're simply just looking for more deals online in general. Now, what about the upcoming holiday season? So 2 in 5 US online adults do expect to still spend about the same this year as they did for the holiday season last year. Many consumers want to do everything they can to make the holiday season a joyous and happy time for those family and friends whom they're going to be celebrating with. Almost 1 in 5 tell us that they actually plan to spend more than last year, and about a quarter say that they're planning to spend somewhat less than last year. So let's dive a little bit further into the future and take a look at 2023. Well, we're forecasting that for 2022, which of course is not yet complete, that US online retail spend will actually top the 1 trillion, yes, trillion with a T, mark. And that will continue to rise in 2023 to about 1.1 trillion. What we're also seeing is that growth rates for online retail spend are settling back down at more average levels. So you can see that pre-pandemic, that annual growth for online retail spend was in the 13% range. We're thinking that this year it'll be about 12.5% and possibly a little bit lower than that in 2023, but still a healthy 11+%. Now, what are people buying? Well, when we look at 2021, which is the last year for which we of course have total numbers, we see that 5 categories make up half of those total US online retail sales. Here we're talking about clothing and footwear, consumer electronics, food and drink, so a lot of which we would normally call grocery, household goods, and computer hardware and peripherals. But you can see that also the second half, that other half of total US online retail spend, is comprised of many, many categories. So where to focus in 2023? We are advising retailers and brands to cultivate and inspire confidence for their customers. What do I mean by that? Well, there are a number of things that you can do. So for example, US consumers tell us that they want more relevant experiences from retailers and brands, business in general, whom they're doing business with, even after they've purchased. So you can see that they say that they're expecting and they want brands to deliver personalized or relevant experiences that are tailored to them, on the one hand, while they are buying the product and they're also using it, but even after they've bought that product. Because of course, think about the fact that at that point, they expect you as that retailer, that brand, to know something about them as a customer, and therefore be able to recommend products or services that make sense for them as a customer. They're also looking to you to show them things like promotions or side-by-side comparison charts so that they can compare similar items across different sets of features. They're looking for things like bestsellers, because maybe a bestseller is something that they should also be taking a look at. And then certainly also complementary items, and of course, newness. What do you have that's new and different that I haven't discovered yet? Show it to me, and I will take a look at that. Customers in 2022 also said that some of the things that they have been doing, they've been supporting local businesses when possible. 2 out of 5 said that they bought products that use environmentally sustainable materials. Almost as many again said they bought secondhand or vintage products. And a little over a third say that they have specifically bought brands that support causes that are important to them. Finally, on a very pragmatic note, some of the things that consumers tell us is that they want are things like order confirmations. This seems really basic, and they're willing to take it by a text or email or other kind of notification. But one of the things that they really want to understand from that order confirmation is when they can expect to receive that item from you. It's hard to provide that with a very specific date. If you can't do that, at least an estimated date is going to help, but keep your customer certainly apprised of what they should expect in terms of when they can expect your order to arrive. And finally, what we recommend is that you cultivate your devotees. Who are your devotees? These are your most loyal customers. These are the customers who are most likely to recommend you as a business to friends and family. They feel a stronger emotional connection to you as a brand. They see you as making them feel like a valued customer. And they also perceive that you as a brand reward their loyalty. With that, I wish you a very successful holiday season and an equally successful 2023. Thank you so much.